guys, how's it going? Yeah, on a bit of a roll today. Did my first ever review this morning on longboard fins and longboard fin setup, and just got a couple of boards out, so just get rolling into it. Just wanted to do a couple of longboard reviews. As I was saying before, there's lots of really cool reviews out there from really professional guys doing short boards, fins, all that sort of stuff. All the really cool guys like Noel, Surf and Show, Benny's Boardroom, Board Shop UK, the guys at Real Surf. Their content's just amazing. So yeah, just don't see an awful lot of longboards. Longboards have moved on over the years. Background is I'm in Christchurch, New Zealand, from England originally. Just started getting back into longboards in the last couple of years. Got a couple of FireWire Timbertech longboards. Just did a review on the Wingnut Nose Rider, so if you wanted to check that out, you'll probably quite like that. And I'm just going to roll into this one on the Tyler Jensen Specialty by FireWire Surfboards. So this thing is really a one longboard quiver pretty much. It's designed by Dan Mann, who designed Sweet Potato, Baked Potato, Dominator, some amazing boards. He's absolutely brilliant shaper, like totally underrated. No one barely knows who he is, but he's made some of the best boards you can buy, in my opinion. And this one was developed with him and Tyler Jensen, who's the 3 times world longboarding champion. He rides usually a very thin, refined longboard that they call the Tyler Jensen Pro. You can get those in different tail shapes. They're really rocketed, they're really thin. They're rolling with about 60 litres, 2+1 setup. So, you know, for normal human beings in normal waves, they're a fairly performance board. So this is basically his take on a bit of an in-betweener. They also do the TJ Everyday, which is a little bit thicker, a little bit more retro, a little bit wider. To me, this is one of the best all-round longboards I think you can buy. Like if you don't want to go too long, don't want to go too high on volume, you're pretty set on a single fin, you want some of the glide, but you want that feel of responsiveness and everything else. This is probably going to be pretty hard to beat, to be quite honest. So yeah, rocker wise, this one's got a little bit more rocker than the Wingnut Nose Rider that I've reviewed earlier. You'll see a little bit of flick, especially late in the tail, and a little bit of flip in the nose. It's a lot more complex bottom contours than the Wingnut. It's got quite a bit going on. I haven't really checked it out fully, but you've definitely got a teardrop in the nose there, so you've definitely got a nose concave. That helps the nose stay in line and give it some lift nose riding. And then it's reasonably flat down through the middle of the board, almost a little bit of belly, and through the bag I think there's quite a bit of V going on. I can't remember exactly the concaves, I'd have to run a straight edge over it, but yeah, it's got a lot going on. And this one is the 9.0. The 9.0 is 9.0, 22 3/4 and 3 inches thick, and it's still carrying 71 litres. And I know the 9.3, it adds 2 inches and just 1.5 litres, so I just didn't bother going up to the 9.3 because I'm only like 5'7", 5'8". But this floats me fine. It's a great wave catcher. I'm 82, 84 kgs, 42 years old, dying of a cold today, so you probably sound rough and I'm almost out of breath just talking, but I'm sure I'll survive. Yeah, this is just amazing, this thing. It's so responsive. The Wingnut's probably a slightly better board if your waves are really slow and you're really looking for a bit more of a nose ride or a bit more of a retro feel, but this is like the best of every world, really. In the rails, it's a little bit rounded and forgiving up this end, and sort of not quite, but towards the rounded 50-50 kind of setup. And then in the tail, it's a rounded pin, and it just really sharpens off. It's a proper hard rail. So again, transitioning from a shorter board or a mid-length, you don't have to walk around on this one. You can stand on the tail and you can basically surf it off the tail, and it's a very responsive board. It feels really confident when you're taking off. We've got quite a slow wave here in Christchurch in Sumner, so there's nothing death-defying going on at the best of times, but to be honest, like, even if it's a little bit peaky, I don't have any problems pulling in on this. It's got a good hold in the tail. It's still got quite good speed. You probably need a little bit more of a wave to get it going than the Wingnut, but I've also ridden it in ankle high, as long as it's got a peeling shape, like this board will like literally do anything. So if you wanted a 9.0 or a 9.3, the 9.3 is just an extra couple of litres and a bit more trim length, so depending on your weight, etc. But yeah, it's very, very hard to beat. As I say, one of the best shapers. It's in the FireWire TimberTech construction, so you've got Polonia wood deck skin and top skin, top and bottom skins. They're 3 mil, I believe. The core is an EPS, it's an EPS core, so it's expanded polystyrene. And the rails are quite thick. The rails are, I think the rails are about 1/2 inch of Polonia. There might even be Polonia and balsa mix, and they go all the way around the outside. So you're almost getting that same parabolic stringer setup that you get with the FST FireWire. So you see that, you know, a lot of the boards now, they've got some carbon or some wood, and instead of the stringer being a beam down the middle of the board, it goes around the outside, gives a bit nicer torsional flex. I mean, like, these things look beautiful. They're reasonably priced, they look amazing, they ride really well. You know, this one's a bit lighter, it's pretty lightweight, but it's not super light. It's not gonna get crazy blowing around when it's a bit windy and stuff. I mean, if you're into heavy logs and you like traditional riding, you probably want something different. But if you want a performance board that's been kind of retroed out a little bit and got the glide and got the soul and got the everyday feel, this is a magic board. Again, same as the Wingnut. I've been running flex fins, basically Greeno 4A I started with, probably just a tiny bit big, and then I've gone to this. I'm really familiar with this, so you probably hear me talk about it a lot, sorry, but this is the 9-inch Christensen tracker fin. It's very similar to the Greeno. There's just there's a few changes in the template. The Greeno is a bit more base, and the Christensen's just got a little bit less base and redistributed it a bit differently, and it's just a really smooth, really easy to turn fin. And then I tried this Shaper's Volan fin in today as well, and that's also a really good fin. So I'm a bit of a flex fin fan. So yeah, this has been going great for me. The one thing I found on this board is I thought it was me. I played around. I put the fin a bit further back because I was like, oh, maybe halfway in the box is maybe where it's supposed to be for the shaper. Maybe the pintail in the offset. I need to be looking at that. But honestly, I've been running this fin like virtually at the front of the box, and it feels great. And if I flip it over and roll with my, which I got off a website, was really clever. Like some of the people were saying, a really good rule is to do this, where the fin lays in the box, and look at having around a third of the fin hanging over the rail. And that actually does put the fin quite forward in the box. And what I'm finding is if I go too far back in the box in this board, it's just doesn't rock over from rail to rail quite as nicely for me. Again, I'm average surfer, average waves, and my foot positioning is probably not very good a lot of the time. So that bit further forward on the fin is more forgiving for me. It moves around easier. But yeah, so FireWire Specialty 9.0, cracking board. The FireWires, when you look on the rack, the tech's as good as anything out. It's wood, it looks beautiful, it's ecologically sound, and this is New Zealand money, but you know, they've gone up again a bit now, but these are like, depending on if it's on special, you might get these as cheap as $1,300. They're really 15 usually, maybe 16. And some of the cheap pop-outs from China are costing nearly that. And some of the OK brands from like Taiwan are still up at the 1,500 mark, and then some of the nice boards are up at the 1,800 plus mark. And shit, these are good value boards. They're super durable, they're not a bad weight, they flex nicely, they look amazing. Everyone always asks you something about the board when you're walking down with a TimberTech board. So yeah, if you want something as one board quiver, 9.0, 9.3, if you're any weight, you could be 70 kgs up to 110, I say, and probably the 9.0 or the 9.3 would suit you. It just does everything. So if you want one long board and get back into a single fin, off you go. Cheers.